Let me share something. So earlier this evening, I was in a meeting with Quezon City. We're optimizing their vaccination flow through. Now, so they just described the bottlenecks and in the Philippines. So for example, I did not realize there are 3 pieces of paper that you have to get vaccinated in the Philippines. You need a CEIR, you need to have a health declaration, you need a health consent form. So I asked, how long does it take for each one? Now it turns out that you have to get, before you had to be, your blood pressure had to be measured twice. Now it's once. I pointed out that everyone is going to be nervous in the vaccination center, so the blood pressure is always going to be up.
Yes.
So why are we measuring blood
Making
pressure?
that an issue.
And so I found out that here in the Philippines, your blood pressure can be taken 5 times. If it's too high, they let you sit for 15 minutes, they take it again. And people have been sent home after 5 hours without being vaccinated because their blood pressure is too high. This does not make any sense because we expect the blood pressure to be high. Right?
But is there, Father, but Father, I mean, linawin lang po natin yon because, as you said, there are, ako, may kilala ko, ganyan po yung nangyari, no? Ang tagal, ilang beses kinuha yung BP niya, but are you saying, walang connection yon? Na kahit high blood ka, you should be able to take your shot? There's no risk there?
No. So what happened? So what I suggested, for example, is that, for example, the CEIR is supposed to be returned to your barangay before you go for your vaccination. So why don't you get the blood pressure in the barangay hall? It is listed in the CEIR. So by the time you go to the vaccination site, we already know if you are high blood pressure. So this way, there is not a logjam at the vaccination center. So there are many things like this. And then, they were asking me, so I guess this health declaration, the medical history, there are 12 questions. So I said, well, the questions have to be very simple. In the United States, they test the question. It has to be grade 5 or below reading level.
Right.
Okay, number 1. Number 2, I said, so they said, well, the doctor has to take this. I said, you do not want a doctor because when Lola sees she's a doctor, she'll say, Doc, yesterday I had headache.
Nagko-consult.
It cannot have a consultation. So it has to be yes, no. Yes, no is easy. You don't need a doctor. Lola, do you have a headache today? Wala. Okay, Lola, once she knows it's a doc, it's a log jam. So there are many things we can do. So I suggested you have one doc overseeing all the other screeners. So if there is a special question, you go, Doc, can you come? So this way, Lolo and Lola are not face-to-face with a doctor because I know that my mother I imagine my mom, she will have lots of questions. We log jam that vaccine.
Yeah, that's true. No, that's very Pinoy talaga. When you meet
really?
even in a party, you start talking about your condition, diba?
Actually, pati yung blood pressure testing, napaka-Pinoy nun kasi it's the cheapest form of medical diagnosis in the Philippines. Libre.
So in the state,
if you're hypertensive, you have a comorbidity, then you really actually need the vaccine.
Exactly. This is why it's... Honestly, when I heard today, after 1 hour, they were telling me that, no wonder it takes hours. In the States, you can go into the local Mercury drug.
Yes,
There's a chair there. You sit down in that chair. Then the pharmacist comes and gives you the injection and you leave. Yes. There is no BP. There is no QA because the QA is all online. So I'm saying we can do better at streamlining that vaccination protocol that we're doing in the Philippines right now.
Okay. We'll have to spend a whole episode to talk about our titos and titas and our parents and our lolos and lolas. Okay. But in fairness, ihahabol ko lang din when you see it on social media, what people are posting, it looks like the system is improving din kasi people have been reporting bumibilis. All credit to our LGUs also.
And they decreased it down to 1 BP. So it was 2. So that 1 is significantly improved.
Yeah,
Okay.
Ranjit can attest to that. He had his second shot today, so he said it was much faster. 15 minutes lang yata or something. Yeah.
But the question now is, what is the target? So right now, what is, and the target should be 1,000 in Quezon City. Their target, we are trying to figure out what is the optimum number that we should have in the third quarter once the vaccine supply is plentiful. So right now they're doing 500. So we're trying to figure out. We want to get 1,000. So we are doing studies now to identify log jams in each one of the 24 vaccine centers. So this should be done now around the NCR before the third quarter arrives. Optimization of all our vaccination centers.